She swore she loved me. Swore I was safe with her. But the way she looked at me that night told me everything her mouth never said. I became the villain with one sentence: calm, quiet, final. And as her world shattered, I felt mine finally steady. I still don't know if that makes me cruel or honest. I just asked my fiancé's best friend out to dinner, right in front of her. And just like that, the engagement blew up in my face. I'm still trying to process everything. Harper and I have been together for 5 years. 5 solid years of building a life from the ground up. When we first met, I was a fresh grad stuck in an entry-level tech job, and she was hustling as a freelance designer in a tiny studio with 2 roommates. We were broke, tired, and ambitious, but we had each other. Every tiny win, every late night, we'll make it someday talk, we shared all of it. When I decided to propose, I didn't just pick a ring off a shelf. I melted down some of my mom's old gold jewelry to make one myself. I wanted it to mean something real. Something ours. For a long time, it felt like we were unstoppable. Until about 3 months ago, something shifted. Harper started going out more. At first, I brushed it off. We're adults. We have our own lives. But it wasn't just going out. It was late nights, like 2 a.m. late. She'd come home smelling like cocktails and cigarettes, laughing about networking events. And somehow, Riley was always there. Riley, her best friend. She works in PR, lives like the world is her runway, and treats relationships like they're seasonal accessories. She's single, loud, and swears by her "live your best life" mantra, which, let's be honest, usually involves tequila shots and Instagram captions about freedom. And speaking of Instagram, Harper's feed changed too. More nightclub selfies. More revealing outfits. Captions like "still got it" and "freedom looks good on me." Meanwhile, I was at home, finalizing the wedding seating chart. Whenever I gently brought it up, she'd snap. Accuse me of being controlling, insecure. I didn't want to be that guy, so I backed off. I wish I hadn't. Last night was Riley's birthday. Some rooftop bar downtown. I wasn't planning to go, early work meeting, but Harper insisted. So I showed up around 10 p.m. She and her friends were already deep into party mode, tucked away in the VIP section like the main cast of a reality show. I grabbed a beer, tried to blend in. But let's be real, these weren't my people. The laughter was loud, the music even louder, and I felt like I was just standing in someone else's life. Around 11, I ducked out to find the bathroom. In the quiet hallway outside, I heard Riley's voice. She was talking to Harper and a couple of other girls. I wasn't trying to snoop, but her voice carried like a bullhorn. Girl, seriously. You've only dated one guy in your 20s. You should test the market before marrying your first buyer. What if there's something better out there? I froze. Another girl laughed nervously, and then I heard Harper. Her voice was softer, but every word sliced clean through me. I know, sometimes I look at him and wonder, is this it? Is this all there is? I love him, but I can't stop thinking, what else is out there? My heart clenched like someone had wrapped a fist around it. I couldn't move. Couldn't breathe. Just stood there in that dim hallway, listening to my fiancé quietly question our entire future. I don't even remember walking back. 1 second I was in that hallway, the next I was back in the VIP section, watching her laugh with Riley like nothing had happened. I told myself I might have misheard. I clung to that like a lifeline. But then Harper leaned toward me with this bright, too cheerful smile and said, half joking, "My friends think I should test the market before I lock myself down." Can you believe that? Something inside me went silent. Not anger. Not heartbreak. Just clarity. I smiled back, the kind of smile that doesn't reach your eyes, and said calmly, "Maybe they're right." Her smile froze. Riley raised an eyebrow. The music still pounded, but it suddenly felt like the world around us had gone still. I looked Harper straight in the eye and, loud enough for her friends to hear, added, "Maybe we both should explore our options. You know, just to make sure neither of us is settling." Her face drained of color. Riley's jaw actually dropped. And that's when I turned to Riley. "How about we start with you? Dinner next week? There's this new steakhouse downtown." The look on their faces? Absolute chaos in slow motion. Riley stammered, glanced at Harper, then back at me, and, to everyone's shock, said, "You know what? Sure. Why not?" The entire VIP section exploded. Gasps. Shouting. Phones out. Harper lost it. She screamed, called me disrespectful, accused me of humiliating her in public. People stared like they just witnessed a soap opera plot twist. I stayed calm. Too calm. "I'm just following your logic," I told her. "You want to test the market? Let's both test it." She had no comeback for that. So instead, she threw her drink at me. Missed completely. And stormed out in heels that clicked like gunshots on the floor. I walked out a few minutes later. This morning, she showed up with her mom to pack her things. She was crying, saying I'd made her feel replaceable, that I'd taken a joke too far. I just looked at her and said quietly, "You replaced me first, in your mind. I just made it real." Her jaw clenched like she wanted to hurl another drink. I gave her the faintest smile. One of those, work on your aim first smiles. She left. Now the wedding's off. My phone's blowing up with messages from friends, family, and nosy onlookers who saw the videos. My parents are devastated. And in 2 days, I have a dinner date with my ex-fiancé's best friend that started as a power move and now I don't even know what it is. Did I overreact? Maybe. But it didn't start last night. That night was just the moment the slow burn finally caught fire. And the truth is, once something inside you snaps that quietly, there's no gluing it back together. Edit. Yes, I'm actually going to the dinner. No, Riley and I aren't suddenly a thing. We both know this is weird. And to everyone asking why I proposed if things were shaky, they weren't. That was 8 months ago. She changed. Or maybe, she just finally said out loud what she'd been feeling for a while. I'll update after Thursday. Alright, here's the update. And let me tell you, this got weird. Real weird. Thursday night, I showed up at the steakhouse first. The place was dimly lit, that warm kind of lighting that makes everything look a little softer than it really is. When Riley walked in, I almost didn't recognize her. She wasn't dressed like the party girl from the rooftop. No glitter, no heavy makeup. Just jeans, a leather jacket, her hair pulled back. Simple. Real. She spotted me and gave this half smile, the kind that says, yeah, we know how ridiculous this is. The hostess seated us, and the first 10 minutes were painfully awkward. The waiter kept glancing between us like he couldn't tell if this was a date, a breakup, or maybe some kind of hostage negotiation. We ordered drinks and steak, and after what felt like forever, Riley just burst out laughing. This is the weirdest thing I've ever done. She wasn't wrong. Sitting across from her, a part of me wanted to just get up and walk away. This was the woman who spent months feeding Harper doubts, telling her to live a little, whispering about the market, making my fiancé question everything we'd built. But another part of me knew Riley didn't make Harper do anything. Harper made her own choices. Riley may have lit the match, but Harper carried the gasoline. So I asked point blank, why'd you even say yes to this? She swirled her wine, took a slow sip, and then said, because you called my bluff. I talk a big game, Noah. Drama's fun. But no one ever actually throws it back at me. Especially not like that. It was either run, or own it. Hearing that caught me off guard. You know you're not innocent in this, right? I said. She didn't dodge it. She just nodded. Yeah, I know. From there, something shifted. We actually talked. Not surface level, not party banter. Real conversation. Turns out, this wild, live-free Riley is basically armor. She was engaged at 24, to some finance bro who cheated on her with his secretary 2 weeks before the wedding. Straight out of a bad rom-com. It shattered her. So she built a new version of herself, the girl who never gets tied down, who laughs at relationships before they can hurt her again. And when Harper got engaged, Riley panicked. She didn't want her best friend to walk into something she saw as a trap. I told her what the last 3 months had been like for me, watching Harper slip into some Instagram filter version of freedom while I tried to hold together the life we built. I told her how I'd been planning a serious talk after Riley's party, but after overhearing that conversation, I just broke. That's when Riley put her fork down and looked me dead in the eye. I didn't mean for you two to break up. I was drunk and being an idiot. But Harper, she's been miserable for months. She didn't know how to say it. Every time we went out, she'd say, this is the last time, and then she'd text me the next weekend wanting to do it all over again. Her words hit different. So was she actually planning to leave me, I asked, or were you pushing her? It's complicated, she said softly. She wanted the wedding, but she also wanted to feel like she lived a little first. She didn't want to lose you. She wanted permission to be scared. And I gave her that. Which makes me the villain here. I know. For the first time since this whole disaster started, someone actually owned their part in it. Not excuses. Just honesty. And that was more than Harper ever gave me. We talked for 3 hours. About love. Fear. That gnawing anxiety that social media plants in your head, that idea that there's always something better waiting if you just keep swiping, keep running. Riley admitted she hasn't let herself be vulnerable in 5 years. I admitted I'd been so obsessed with building a perfect future, I ignored that Harper was already halfway out the door emotionally. When we walked to our cars, Riley stopped and said, we're not dating, right? This was just two people trying to understand the explosion. I laughed. Yeah. We're just two guilty idiots who shared a very expensive steak. She hugged me. Quick. No pressure. Just human. And that was that. Then it got messy. Someone must have seen us. That night, around 11 p.m., Harper left me a voicemail, crying, screaming, accusing me of betrayal. The next morning, she sent this long email about how Riley manipulated both of us, how she never meant any of it, how I was being cruel by going out with her best friend. I haven't replied. My buddy Nate says I should block her and move on. My mom asked if we could maybe fix it. She loved Harper. But honestly, I don't feel broken. I feel lighter. And that says everything, doesn't it? Riley texted me yesterday. Harper called me a snake. Says we deserve each other. Coffee? Let's toast to our mutual villain era. I said yes. Not because there's something romantic there. Because, honestly, she's the only person who actually understands the scale of this mess. We sat in a cafe, joked about being chaos buddies, and for the first time in a long time, I felt like I could breathe. Meanwhile, Harper's friends have been blowing up my phone with insults. One even said I weaponized Riley against her. Which is a fascinating way to describe asking someone to dinner. Riley's getting worse. She showed me some of the messages. They're brutal. But she just shrugged and said, I probably deserve it. She's something else, that's for sure. The apartment's quiet now. Too quiet sometimes. But it's also peaceful. I've been going to the gym again. Cooking real food instead of ordering takeout. Sleeping better than I have in months. Maybe this is denial. Maybe it's the calm before some emotional storm. But sitting here on a Saturday morning, drinking coffee in silence, no clubs, no fights, no guilt, I feel more like myself than I have in a year. Edit. Yeah, I know. It sounds like the setup to a rom-com with Riley. It's not. We're not falling into each other's arms. We're just two people sitting in the crater of the same explosion, trying to make sense of the smoke. And honestly? That's enough for now. I wasn't planning to write another update, but a bunch of you kept asking what happened next. So, here's the 6-month update. And honestly? Buckle up. This story took turns I never saw coming. First things first, Riley and I never dated. Yeah, I know. A few of you were expecting the plot twist, but that's not how this went down. We stayed friends, in this oddly grounded way where we both knew we'd been part of each other's most chaotic moment in life. Every few weeks, we'd grab coffee, talk about everything, roast each other a little, and weirdly, it was kind of therapeutic. Like two people sitting at the scene of a car crash, analyzing how the hell it happened. About 2 months after the rooftop blow-up, Riley invited me to a fashion launch her PR firm was handling. Normally, that's my personal definition of a nightmare. But Nate, my best friend and part-time life coach, kept nagging me to stop living like a cave troll. So, I went. And that's where I met Sophie. She was standing by the bar, wearing sneakers at a place where everyone else looked like they were auditioning for a luxury campaign. We made eye contact after spotting the same guy wearing a sweater that probably cost more than both our rent combined. She grinned and said, "That sweater costs more than my car." And just like that, I was gone. We spent 3 hours talking. Real conversation. She's 27, works as a stylist for the brand Riley reps, grew up in Portland, moved to the city for work but hasn't quite adjusted to the chaos of it all. She hikes. She collects vintage furniture. She makes pasta from scratch on weekends. And when I said I worked in software engineering, she didn't zone out, she actually asked me what I build. That felt new. Easy. I got her number. We texted for a week before I asked her out properly. Our first date? A Saturday afternoon hike followed by tacos from a food truck. No fancy rooftop, no perfect photos, no pretending. Just walking, talking, and laughing until the sun dipped behind the trees. By date 3, I was done for. Sophie isn't loud. She isn't chaotic. She's calm. Steady. When she says something, she means it. She doesn't need an audience to feel alive. She's happy reading on the couch on a Friday night, but she'll also hop in the car for a spontaneous road trip without blinking. Everything with her just works. We've been together 4 months now. She met Nate last month, and afterward, he pulled me aside, clapped me on the shoulder, and said, "Don't mess this one up." Classic Nate. Subtle as a brick. But I get it. This feels different. Solid. Safe in a way I didn't realize I'd been missing. Now here's the wild part. About 3 weeks ago, Riley called me. Her voice was way too casual for what she was about to say. "Don't freak out, but Harper's getting married." Yup. My ex-fiancé met some guy named Derek about 2 months after we split. He's 35, owns a chain of gyms, drives a Tesla, basically the Instagram version of successful entrepreneur. They got engaged after 4 months. 4. And the kicker? Riley's company is handling the wedding. She even sent me a mock-up of the venue. I sent her a single thumbs up emoji. Not gonna lie, seeing us both move on so fast hit me in a strange way. Not sad. Just confirming something I think I already knew. Harper and I were done long before that rooftop night. We just needed something loud and messy to finally admit it. Riley told me Harper seems happy. Or at least busy. Big wedding. 200 guests. 3 dress changes. Picture perfect, Instagram ready. Riley also admitted Harper's been driving her nuts with endless changes and indecision. She wants the wedding aesthetic, not the actual marriage. Same movie. Different co-star. I asked Riley if she still felt guilty. She said no. I learned you can't save people from themselves. Harper was always going to spiral. You were just the guy holding the match. She's right. Walking away was the best thing either of us could have done. And Sophie, she knows the entire story. I told her everything on our 5th date. She just listened, nodded, and said, "Sounds like you dodged a bullet and found yourself at the same time." She gets it. She really gets it. So that's where I'm at now. Taken for 4 years. Engaged for 8 months. Dumped at a birthday party. Accidentally befriended the chaos agent. Met someone incredible at a fashion event I almost skipped. And now I'm watching my ex get married to someone else while being with a woman who feels like home. Life's weird. But it's a good weird. The kind of weird that makes you look back and think, yeah, it all had to happen exactly like that to get me here. Edit. No, I'm not going to Harper's wedding. Riley invited me as a joke. I politely declined. Sophie laughed for a solid 10 minutes when I told her. As for closure, we never really had one. Harper stopped reaching out after the first month. And honestly, that silence said more than any conversation could have. Sometimes, closure isn't a door you close together. Sometimes, it's the quiet that finally lets you breathe. All right. This is it. The actual final chapter of the story. And honestly, I couldn't have imagined this ending a year ago. 3 weeks ago, I proposed to Sophie. Same ring setting, gold from my mom's old jewelry, but this time with a sapphire. She'd once mentioned diamonds felt too cookie-cutter for her, and that tiny detail stuck with me. It felt poetic, keep the foundation, build something entirely new on top of it. No big production. No hidden photographer. No elaborate speech. Just us. We were cooking dinner in my kitchen on a random Tuesday night. She was mid-rant about some nightmare client, hands flying, hair a little messy, pasta boiling over in the background. And I looked at her and thought, this is it. This is what I want forever. So, I turned off the stove, got down on one knee right there on the tile, and asked her to marry me. She said yes before I even finished the sentence. Then she cried. Then I cried. And then we both started laughing because, of course, the pasta was now a bubbly volcano. It was messy and imperfect and absolutely perfect. I called Riley the next day. She screamed so loud I had to yank the phone away from my ear. "I'm planning this wedding," she declared. "I'm calling in every favor, cashing every chip, and making this the opposite of Harper's disaster." I asked what she meant. Turns out Harper's wedding to Jimbro Derek looked like a Pinterest board come to life, flawless lighting, perfect photos, zero soul. Riley's been dealing with Harper's late-night texts ever since, all saying the same thing: it looked perfect. It felt empty. Then Riley got quiet. And in a voice I hadn't heard from her before, she said, "You know what's wild? A year ago, I'd have found 10 reasons to talk you out of this. I was so afraid of commitment, I made everyone around me afraid too, just so I wouldn't feel wrong. But now, I'm genuinely happy for you. Watching you find something real made me realize I want that someday. Took blowing up a friendship and a lot of therapy to get here, but here I am. Coming from the woman who once told Harper to test the market before marrying her first buyer, that meant everything." Riley's grown. We both have. And here's the full circle moment. 2 weeks ago, Harper showed up. Not a text. Not an email. She walked into the coffee shop where I was meeting Nate. She looked different, tired, softer, stripped of all that polished, perfect girl energy she used to project. "Can we talk?" she asked. Nate gave me the look, the "do you want me to stick around?" look. I nodded. He moved to another table, still close enough to intervene if needed. Harper sat down and said, "I'm not here to cause drama. I've been in therapy for 6 months. My therapist says I need closure. And I think she's right." She took a deep breath. Her voice cracked a little. "I owe you an apology." Then she told me the marriage with Derek lasted 4 months. 4. They're already divorcing. He was exactly what he seemed, she said. All surface, no depth. I thought I wanted excitement. I just didn't want to grow up. You were never the cage, Noah. My own fear was. She told me she deleted most of her social media, changed jobs, started unpacking the mess she'd carried around for years. "I don't expect forgiveness," she said. "But I want you to know I finally understand. What we had was real. I was the one who destroyed it because I was too immature to value it." And honestly, I believed her. Not because I wanted anything back, but because she finally said the thing she couldn't say back then. I told her I appreciated the apology. That I don't carry any anger anymore. That I'm grateful things ended when they did, before we made bigger mistakes. She asked if I was seeing anyone, and I told her about Sophie, about the engagement. She smiled. And this time, it wasn't bitter. "Then maybe we both grew up," she said. She gave me a quick hug and walked out. Nate came back over, sat down, and said, "That was surprisingly mature." I agreed. That night, Sophie asked how it felt seeing Harper. And I told her the truth. It felt like bumping into someone from high school. You remember the history, but you've both become entirely different people. There's no spark. No tension. Just quiet acknowledgement of what was. So here I am. Engaged to a woman who makes me laugh every single day. Who doesn't need me to be a character in some fantasy, just me. Riley's planning a wedding that will be genuine instead of performative. Nate's my best man and already writing a speech that starts with, "So, there was this bomb." Harper's healing. So am I. A year ago, it felt like my life imploded. Now, I can see it clearly, it didn't implode. It reset. And somehow, everything that burned down made space for something real. Thanks for being part of this story. We made it to the end.